Happy New Year. It's 2017. Been a while since I've posted. I wanted to get this video out earlier, but it has been a very hectic New Year so far for our family. But it's a perfect time because midway through January, statistically, people are starting to lose enthusiasm for their New Year's resolutions. And so I thought, hey, great timing, it's not too late. This might be something that allows someone to feel further enthused about their goals and kind of refreshed and renewed about their intentions for this year. This year has been crazy. I have a son and a daughter who are seniors in high school, and they have been very busy with basketball and with their friends and with get-togethers and things over our household. Then we had a very big winter storm come through and drop 12 inches of snow on us, and we are an area that shuts down with 2 inches of snow. So needless to say, we were very snowed in. And so basically, it's just been one thing after another, but I am working on my goals on a daily basis, and it has been going well so far. And I wanted to share with you the tried and true methods that I've used throughout the years to plan goals, to map goals, to keep track of goals, to stay on top of them, and also to just be accountable to myself. And basically, I know that there are a lot of planner enthusiasts out there right now, and it's planner mania. I myself have purchased an Erin Condren planner in the past, and it was lovely. I did the personalized one, and I loved it, but you don't technically have to go out there and buy a super fancy planner in order to stay enthused or on top of your goals. This is what I've purchased. This is a notebook from Target. I purchased the one with the plastic back and front because it's more heavy duty. And on the inside, there are tabbed pages or pages with like colored borders. And that helps me to kind of keep certain parts of my life organized and separate within this notebook. And I do this every year. My kids and I actually do it. I get with them every January 1st, and we sit down and we write out and map out our goals for the year. And we've been doing that since they were 5, and it's just such a favorite tradition of mine. And hopefully of theirs too. Sometimes they don't want to do it, but it's good to have the habit. So I always, in front of every year's notebook, put my goals. And I always have a theme for every year. This is going to be what I would like to most focus on for the year. So this year, it took me a little while because there's a lot of things I want to focus on. But I wrote see, strive, and simplify. So see essentially is to just see things for what they really are. Don't project. Keep my perspective fresh and look for the beauty and the positivity in the world. Strive is to just push harder than I have been for the things that I really wish to see in my life and in the lives of people that I love. Simplify is essentially to let go of certain things that have been holding me down. Some of those things are kind of private, some of those things are not, but basically I'm on a path of trying to declutter my life in both the professional way as well as home and as well as my thought process. So that is my theme for this year, and it might seem overcomplicated, but really it's not. See, strive, simplify. It's very easy. All right, I always add a little color because this just makes me happy to see color. More of the ugly artwork, I can definitely do better than that, but I was kind of in a rush. And then I go in and I write a letter to myself. And I know it might sound crazy, but one day I'm going to come back and I'm going to read this. So my letter here just breaks down what my theme is. It talks about what happened last year and what I want to see for this year. It's sort of like encouraging myself, you know what I mean? Like getting my thoughts on paper, kind of like a journal entry. All right, so then I have a list of goals that I write down, and the list of goals can be very long with me for sure, and so I try to break it into categories to simplify the process. So the categories that I've come up with is self, my goals that I wish to do for myself; home, the goals that I wish to accomplish within my home, like projects and purging and outside things, relationships. These are the goals that I hope to work towards, accomplish, or stay on top of with the people that I love. And business. Business, obviously, self-explanatory. I am a real estate agent, and that can be a challenging career field sometimes. But also this year, I want to grow my YouTube channel, and I've had this channel for a few years, and I haven't been able to do much with it because life is always so slammed. But things are starting to slow down. My kids are seniors, and they are going to college. Both of them will be leaving in June, at the end of June, just 2 weeks after graduation. I will be an empty nester, and I will have time. I will need activities to occupy my time so that I don't overthink the fact that my children have left. Anyway, I don't want to cry, so I'm not going to think about it. But basically, so basically the acronym, I guess, so to speak, for the goals categories is SHRB. SHRB, S-H-R-B. Self, home, relationships, business. That's the way that I kind of broke it down. Then I went through that checklist of goals that I wrote down that was really long, and I put like an S next to self, H next to home, and basically once I tagged it and categorized it all, then I was able to go back into my notebook and make a clean copy. So I've got one page for self, and I have my fitness, my nutrition, adventure, which is things that I'd like to challenge myself to do, and then simplifying. How will I simplify myself? And I always put like a little bullet point at the bottom, and that's usually like a inspirational quote or something that, just picks me up a little bit. But next to each goal, I kind of map out what I'd like to see myself do. So under fitness, I write, stay committed to a workout routine of strength training, running, and climbing that is challenging, fun, and social. Ideally 4 times a week or more. Then I wrote a list of places that I'd like to go to work out. Under nutrition, I wrote eat clean, cut out chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and sugar, create weekly meal plans, shop for fresh produce every 3 days, start spring garden from heirloom seeds, vegan as often as possible. So I'm a vegetarian, and recently I've decided to become a vegan after watching some really great documentaries. And it's going to be a challenge. I'm definitely cutting out dairy, and I'll probably still dabble with eggs because we have chickens, and they're happy chickens, and they lay without being forced. And I don't know exactly how healthy eggs are, but I eat them and I like them. So anyway, that's just essentially a very rough goal map of each specific goal that I have. So under home, all right, simplify, home cleaning, house projects. And then I literally wrote myself like a little chart of how I'll break down my chores for the week to simplify and keep on top of things. Sometimes I get a little overwhelmed and things can slip, and then that's like the worst thing that could happen. When it slips, I am double behind. Does that make sense? So like this is what I need. And then here I wrote in my bullet point, every step moving forward is a step in the right direction. Don't get discouraged. I can be my own worst critic, and I can sometimes have issues with, like, I have this go big or go home mentality, and a lot of times if I can't do it right, I don't even want to touch it, and that's a problem, especially with the house. All right, so relationships. I put under relationships, family trips we'd like to take, family quality time, simplify. How will I simplify my relationships? Hosting events. Obviously hosting events could fall under home or relationships, but for me, I kind of put under relationships because I'm more driven by the people I'm going to see, if that makes any sense. Okay. And business. So under business, I have real estate, YouTube, financial, and then under my bullet point, I put set the foundation for a financially successful future with lots of freedom and fun. All right. So that is the breakdown of the way that I did my goals. I didn't go into too much detail with all the goals that I set for myself because, they're personal, but I'm confident because of my consistent use of this system that it will help me because it stays in front of me all throughout the year. Why? Because this notebook not only serves as my goal mapping, it serves as my planner. So on the first section, which is this sort of salmon color, that is where I'm going to write my daily to-dos. So my daily to-do lists can often be a little long. So what I need to do is give myself realistic lists. That is what most of us are very, very, very guilty of. Is giving ourselves lists that we couldn't possibly accomplish, and then we end up so discouraged and we don't continue the process. So give yourself a realistic list. Give yourself grace if you can't finish it. All right, so the next section is going to be used for meal planning. I'm also going to insert recipes and things like that in there. In the front of my meal planning section, I wrote down all of the dishes that I can comfortably make without looking for a recipe as a reference. So these are memorized. And this helps me when I'm going grocery shopping, and it helps me when I am trying to mix things up and make sure that I don't make one thing too many times or put it too much into the rotation. I have a very picky family, which is my fault. I am the one that did that. Yeah, and then on the gray section, which is the very last section, I put that for shopping lists, wish list, expense records. So basically anything that I need to go get from the store, or like whether it's grocery store, clothing store, the kids tell me they need something. Wish lists are things that maybe I want to research and I'm going to shop it online and in stores. Expense records is essentially I'm going to try to keep a written record of the things that I need to keep track of. So like in real estate, I need to keep track of all my expenses so that I can use them with my tax write-offs. Also this section I'm going to set up with another intention, which is my husband and I are engaging in a fun bet. And the bet is essentially who can lose the most weight. We have from this morning when we weighed in till April 3rd, right before we go on vacation. And whoever loses has, whoever wins, I guess I should say, gets a prize. And we agreed upon what would be the best prize. So for instance, if I lose and my husband wins, I have to clean his garage. It is a mess. I want it cleaned, but I don't want to do it. But whatever, it's what he chose. If I win, then he has to take me on a little mini weekend trip to the mountains where we'll hike, we'll camp, and do the things that he hates doing that I love doing. And then we kind of threw in a little wrench into our bet, which is really funny because we essentially went to the documentary the other night together about going vegan and the health benefits, and he's not ready to give up meat, which I understand, but he is willing to give up beef and pork. So in order to assure that he stays like motivated with that goal, I decided that I was going to give up coffee and soda and cheese. And I'm actually trying to give up milk too, but I'm not going to hold myself to that in the bet because I don't want to take a chance of like accidentally consuming milk like in a baked good and then he like gets me, you know. But we threw another wrench into the bet because if either of us default on the cutouts, then we owe each other big money. So anyway, it's just fun, but it's motivation. I want us to be healthy. I want us to be here for our great grandkids one day, you know, and I want us to be physically mobile. We both have family members that have either died very young or have been very sick, and I've been a vegetarian now for going on 10 years, and overall my health is pretty darn good. I've gotten my blood work back and it's looking good, and the biggest challenge for me is maintaining a weight that I feel is necessary for all of the fun activities that I wish to do, like skiing and hiking and running. The heavier you are, the harder it is on your muscles and your joints. And I love my bread, I love my pasta, and sometimes I have a sweet tooth, and so I get in trouble a little bit. I go through bouts where I'm busy at work and I can't exercise, and so this is just the thing that I need, and it's fun. We're gonna challenge one another to be our best selves, and in the meantime make a little wager for a little fun. I don't play the lottery or bet any other spot in my life, so I figured no harm done. So this is it. This is the thing that I use to keep me sane, the thing that I use to keep track of my life. If I lost it, I would be devastated. I keep these as keepsakes because it's so much fun for me to go back and look at all the years of growth and change, and even to-do lists from random years are just fun to look at. I'm such a nostalgic person by nature. One of the things that I wanted to also share, in addition to what I've just shared, is that the key to staying on top of this and to not get discouraged is to make the realistic to-do lists for the day. Take into consideration that you have to work maybe, or that your kids might have school, or that you might have to be in this place at this time. Look at how much time you really have. Recognize that some of that time is going to be for driving, for using the restroom, for cooking, for cleaning. You know what I mean? Like be realistic. Every day, write a realistic to-do list just for that day. Don't worry about what you have to do for the next day or the day after. Just for that day, analyze what's needed, write it down, check it off as you go. The check marks are so satisfying. Then you're going to feel such a rush from accomplishing that to-do list for that day that the next day you're going to do it again. And you're going to also have, the need to, again, be realistic and to keep it simple. And then every day that you focus on just that day and the momentum from that day's accomplishments grows, you will become a motivated person. You will become a person who can accomplish your goals. A lot of times our resolutions become so overwhelming because we have this idea, but we don't have the map. Like, yes, I would love to go to Washington, D.C. If I don't have a GPS or a map, I'm not getting there. I'm too far away. I'm not going to figure it out. Same thing with goals. You can't say, I simply want to lose weight. You have to recognize and understand what you need to do in your daily life in order to lose weight. And it can be broken down into such simple steps that it's almost like you're not even trying, like you're just following this simple step every day. For some of us, it might be like cutting out sugar or extra carbs. So every day when you're making your meal plan, write the meal plan just for that day, being cognizant of the fact that your goal is to cut out excess carbs or processed foods, and then write it out just for that day. And then when you're feeling better and you're accomplishing things and you're moving in the right direction, you're your own cheerleader, you're your own momentous person, and you can continue to be driven, and before you know it, it becomes a habit instead of just, just do life on purpose, basically. Write it out. Write it down to the simplest step, whatever works for you, but just write things down. It helps you to accomplish so much more than just keeping it in your mind. And if you don't want to do it this way, that's fine. If you want to be green, use your Google Calendar or whatever iPhone uses, but use it. Stay organized one day at a time, and use the small victories of your daily to-do list being checked off to fuel your continued success as the days go by. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope 2017 is going amazing. I hope that this little notebook tutorial has been something that someone out there can use. And again, I really hope that you subscribe and like this video and stick with me as I work to build this for the coming year. Thanks. Bye.